Right. Hello, everyone. April Cox here. I just want to welcome you to my open self-publishing Q&A. I'm running a little bit late today. My apologies. It is 8:04 Eastern on Wednesday, July 17th, and I'm here to answer your self-publishing questions. So let's just open it up and see if we can put a little agenda together of the types of things that you want to cover. So Victoria, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here with us.
Thank you. It's always going to be Amazon ads. And this time I want to look at keywords, my keywords. And I know I kind of played with Publisher Rocket's new idea. And I did carry it through, like making a new ad, but it showed me using my ASIN of one of my books. And one of the ones was that Amazon liked was Penguin Tuxedo. But when I put, you had a laundry list of Penguin books, and then there was some other stuff in there. And I think that other stuff is what may not be good for me. And that other stuff was, I think it's called either Tuxedo or Penguin. It was liquor, alcohol.
Yeah, so one of the things that I do with this open Q&A at 8 o'clock Eastern is we do very rudimentary beginner questions. So what I can say is after the 8 o'clock session, I have my open office hours for my authorpreneurs. And this is a perfect topic for Amazon ads and taking a look at some of the functionality with the new functionality within the Publisher Rocket tool. I think that would be a great topic for the 9 o'clock session. So if you're okay with hanging on there, I would love to incorporate that in the 9 o'clock session. So also just want to post here for those that are here online with me, say hello. For those of you on YouTube, what are your self-publishing questions? And then I'm also seeing that we have some folks that are trying to get into this session. So bear with me. I'm just going to send a quick email out to those who are having issues and just make sure they have the right link here. Probably confusion around the fact that I started a little bit later than usual. So bear with me and let me know, what are you having trouble with from your self-publishing?
I do have another one that could be basic, and it's your copyright. I know that you are adamant about getting copyrighted, and where I came from with self-publishing school, they just gave us like a template, and I've used that for 3 of my books. However, in listening to another podcast person, she said that Amazon, when you go to publish your book, it asks you now about your copyright. And if you don't have good, because of AI. And so they want proof now. And so I attempted to look at the copyright, but it's like I fell apart because they had questions I wasn't sure where I was supposed to go. So maybe that would be a good beginner one.
I think copyright is an important thing to talk about. There's nothing different right now regarding whether you own your copyright or not. Like you do check off the box, yes, I own the copyright, but it doesn't want proof. Really, it just wants to know, do you have or do you own the copyright, and checking that off as a yes. And then it also does ask about AI, whether you've created, used AI in creation. So what I do want to say is that there are a couple of things with regard to copyright. First and foremost is that everybody should copyright their book. And I have a lot of people say, you don't need to copyright your book because, you are creative and anything that you create is yours. Nobody can steal it. Well, that's all fine and good until you see somebody pop on Amazon who's actually pirated your book, or they've taken your cover and they've turned it into an exact replicate of your cover, adding something like workbook or activity book. And so they're trying to piggyback off of what you've created, and they're basically stealing your concept and trying to kind of piggyback on your sales. Now, if you have not formally submitted a copyright, then it's going to be really difficult to be able to prove to Amazon this, I own the copyright. But if you've gone to copyright and you spend this, it's only $60. So spend the $60 and file the copyright, get your copyright certificate, and you also have an ID, and you can show that proof to Amazon and they'll take down the pirates. Same thing with anything else that pops up elsewhere. So to me, regardless of the fact that copyright law is supposed to protect you, unless you are, going to be filing all of your documents and the dates you created everything, and you're going to have some sort of way of proving and then taking that to court with somebody to try to get them to take things down, it is going to be much simpler to go through the copyright.gov process and just pay the $65 and get it finished. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know about this, anyone else saying that Amazon wants proof. Perhaps
that's the book launcher. The lady from Book Launchers had mentioned that was something that, because she goes with her, with her people, her group of people, and she said that happened. And I thought, oh my gosh.
Well, that could, maybe it is one of those scenarios where somebody else was doing something and you needed to be able to prove that, that this is in fact your work. And so I think maybe we're saying the same things, that you need to have some proof that this is your story, and going through filing the copyright is the easiest way to do that. Whether or not something is AI, I think at this point, they're just trusting what you say, yes or no. So far, I haven't seen Amazon coming back with any kind of follow-up saying, we recognize AI has been used or anything like that. So we'll see how.
It was just the form. When I looked at it, it's, I just got confused. I thought, oh, which one do I want? And I know, because some look similar. I don't know. So on the form, I just kind of got lost on there, and I thought, well, maybe I could ask you about the form. There's like 4 different choices, I think. I mean, some are very obvious that you wouldn't do that, but I was just trying to make sure that I'm in the right road.
Yeah. So when you say the form, what form do you mean, Victoria?
When you're at the copyright, the actual copyright.gov or whatever, you have to list the type of copyright you're getting. And I want to make sure that what I click is the one that should be, because it takes you down a different path.
I see. Yeah, if you are interested in sharing that, you want to share your screen, and I can absolutely walk you through it, because that will be helpful for me to understand which one. Hi, Pat, welcome. Nice to have you here.
I haven't done it recently. It was a while back, so I don't think I'm prepared to do that right now.
Okay, no worries. No worries.
With my Amazon ad one, but I'm prepared for this one. Okay.
All right.
I'll be still.
No worries. Hi, Pat. Do you have open, self-publishing question that you'd like to get added to the agenda for our open Q&A?
No, I'm thinking of it though.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the things that came up earlier today with my author group that I thought might be a really good topic to cover with folks online today is that through Chat GPT and other AI systems, there's a lot more that you can do to create a marketing plan and create activities. And I don't know that people are using it to the full benefit. So I thought perhaps I should show some of the stuff that I'm doing. There's a lot more that you can do to create a marketing plan and create activities. And I don't know that people are using. I'm going to mute. Sorry to say, somebody's got an echo going on, and you might be listening to me on YouTube, which is a little bit behind. And so I'm hearing that echo. So anyway, I'm going to go into my Chat GPT, and I want to show just some things that I was doing earlier with my group. And I think that you guys might be it might open your eyes to some things that you can do. So here I am sharing on the screen here. And this you see here is authorpreneur.ai. It really is my own version of Chat GPT, and it is going to become available for folks. So what's different about this AI versus the others? Really, I've just been training it on my own way of doing things when it comes to self-publishing. I uploaded this Chat GPT with all kinds of information, including everything from my course. Here's my big course workbook for my 12-week group. So it has all of that stuff loaded into it, and it's had probably dozens or many hours of my time kind of tweaking its response so that it does provide some information and guidance based on how I might answer the questions if somebody was asking me. But above and beyond that, I've started playing a little bit with how will my authors who are really in need of help with marketing, how can they use this tool or Chat GPT in general for book marketing ideas? And so what I said here to the GPT, I have a Christmas book and would like book marketing ideas to prepare for the Christmas season. So because I've trained it on my activities and the things that I teach in my course, it kind of outlined all of the things: digital marketing, collaborations and events and appearances, promotional offers, content marketing. So it is going through all the list of things that I cover in my course. And it says, by implementing these strategies, you can maximize the visibility and sales of, and this is the title of my own Christmas book, during the holiday season. So the author I was helping at the time said, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. So I thought, well, let's see if there are any local events or influencers in the area that this GPT might be able to find. Now, that's not something I trained it for, but that's something that's inherent in Chat GPT and AI in general. They have access to searches and additional things. So asking it this, just putting a location, it came up with Books by the Banks Festival, Cincinnati Zoo events, local bookstores that she should check on, along with contact information to, and also some influencers that live locally in her area that write children's books, along with their contact information. It also mentions the Cincinnati Parent Magazine and says, by participating in these local events and connecting with these influencers, you can effectively help to market this children's book. And then I said, well, what about bloggers? I wonder what's going on with blogging. Maybe we can identify some bloggers that we want to connect with as well. Are there popular bloggers that do reviews of Christmas books that you can list for me? So now it searches and comes up with a list of bloggers and their websites that you can reach out to. And it gives a little bit of a background for each one, which I thought was really nice. So we started digging a little bit deeper. And I said, well, I have a list of bloggers that I'd like to reach out to now. So give me a pitch for the children's book. In order to draft a good pitch for these bloggers, ask me some questions. So it came back and said, okay, here are some questions that I want to know about the book so that I can draft a good pitch for you. So it gave 10 questions that it would like the answer to. ChatGPT needs to know in order to create the best pitch possible. So we answered these questions for ChatGPT based on Tina Neely's book. And it decides to come together and it took the information and came up with this Dear Blogger. It shows some information, an introduction. It gives a little bit of information about the book, some key highlights. Now, this is just a template you can copy and paste and use for your own, for her own information and outreach. It talks about the author's inspiration, some release information, and what the author hopes to achieve within this by reaching out and partnering with this blogger. So what a great opportunity, right? You don't have to write these things yourself. You can get some really, and if it doesn't feel like you, the beauty of these Chat GPT and AI features and functions that are coming all over the place is you can provide feedback and it remembers. So it says, go ahead and come up, feel free to customize the pitch. So I said, well, now what if you could help, we've got this email that we can send out to bloggers, but how are we going to get them to open it? We need some good subject lines. So please help me come up with subject line that will be highly likely to be opened by this target audience. So it comes up with a list of, here's a bunch of subject lines. And when I looked at them, my feedback was, these don't seem very compelling. These kinds of subjects probably come in an awful lot to bloggers. So what can we do to make this more compelling, the subject lines? So now it changes the approach to exclusive review copy, be the first to review, perfect for your blog, right? So now these are some better formatted or better ideas of subject lines that we can use to then move forward. And then I thought, well, my course has a list of influencers. Maybe because I've uploaded it and trained it on everything, maybe it will be able to give me a link to those influencers. So I just simply said, there's a list of influencers in the Self-Publishing Made Simple resource library. Do you have the link? So it gave me the link to exactly where I need to go to download the resources. So wonderful. It connects everything that I've been doing in a way that is going to help my authors or authors out there that are using this get access to not only general self-publishing knowledge, but even a list of pre-vetted resources. So then what I did not do or upload to this is a list of libraries. So I thought, okay, let's start locally and start thinking about libraries. What if we started in that local area? Can you give me a list of libraries? And sure enough, it remembered the area that the author was in, and it gave all of the library information, not only the name of the library, but the address and phone number. And I think if I scroll over to the right, maybe also, oh no, okay. So it created a table, and I didn't ask it to create a table. It just knew I'm going to create a table. And now I could download that table and have all the library information. So now we've got this compiled list of libraries in Tina's area. So I said, okay, now use all the information that we provided earlier regarding, answering all those questions about her book and her and all of her, what she's trying to accomplish. And now give me a pitch that's going to appeal to a children's librarian. So here it did. It put the subject together. Now it's got the librarian's name, and it's put together something a little bit more information that's geared towards what a librarian would be looking for. So an opportunity for your library, a live reading session, an interactive heart search activity based on the book, a discussion on the book's themes. So it's pitching something to be in front of a librarian that can help her get her book in the local area as well. So I don't know if people are really using Chat GPT this way and really digging in. So I said, okay, I'm launching this Christmas book in 60 days. Please come up with a list of social media posts to help raise awareness to generate interest in launch day. Here's a comprehensive 60-day social media posting plan. Introduction and teasers, day 1 through 10, 11 through 20, engaging content and countdown. Days 21 to 30, building anticipation and engagement. So here we are, 31 through 40, pre-order push and reviews. Now I can take this social media marketing plan and ideas. Like, look at the ideas it came up with. Day 43, Q&A time. Ask me anything about Bacon's very important Christmas job and I'll answer in the comments. Day 45, what inspired Bacon's very important Christmas job? Day 47, thank you for joining our live chat. If you missed it, here's the replay. Less than 20 days to go. What are you most excited about? Right? All of these, like, you don't have to come up with ideas or sit in front of a blinking cursor or on a Canva thing trying to figure out what to do. I would pass this kind of a plan over to my social media person. And by the way, I've worked with a variety of social media folks that I have engaged with through various different freelancer sites. And I've paid anywhere from $4 to say $20 an hour. Passing this kind of thing where it's already spelled out, giving them all of the specific images that they need for the book and things like that, and letting them go and take this to finalize the social media is pretty simple. And there are people out there that do this day in and day out. Let them go and schedule all of this stuff, review it with you, make sure you have everything ready to go. And obviously I could have continued and said, okay, now I'm getting ready to engage with my launch team. Help me create some emails and some ideas for reaching out from now to the next 2 weeks to engage with the launch team and help them understand what is expected and how the schedule is going to roll out. They could give me that. It could write my emails for me, and I could pass that along to my VA, my virtual assistant, to schedule some of this. Is this starting to feel like, wow, this is like a big weight off? How do you feel about it, Pat? I just have to unmute you, Pat.
I do use Chat GPT. I've never used it, to this extent. I have a few questions. Where did you get these hashtags? Was that something that Chat GPT
generated it itself?
did?
It created it all itself.
And then if she were to take these like different comments, day 57, 59, would she be putting them on Facebook or Twitter or both? Or
if it was me, I go through the Meta business page, and I put them in there so that they are posted on both Facebook and Instagram. And you can also include additional areas that you might want to post it, like TikTok or LinkedIn. Like you can connect multiple different ones, and then it will post them in multiple places. If you have a social media manager who is, really good at this stuff, they might say, well, you're going to want a different size for a Facebook post versus an Instagram post, and maybe a slightly different look to one that is going to be on TikTok versus one that's going to be on LinkedIn. So they may create multiple versions for you in the various sizes that are needed to maximize the impact for social media. But if it's me, I'm probably just going, just copy it everywhere, and probably not giving it as much thought about maximizing the actual format. But I would just post it everywhere that I felt was really important.
I don't do anything with blogging, but I noticed that through the years you have listed influencers, to go to. Could this also create something for influencers? I know you scrolled through this fairly fast, but I saw what you did with blogs. But could that also be done with asking Chat GPT to write up something for different influencers?
Absolutely. Yes, I've actually done that when I was managing. I'm just going to create a link here for you because I did scroll through this very quickly. Because this is my own AI, I have the ability to share this chat link so that you have all of the information right here. It's available. It's a public link now. So I'll go and post it here in the chat on Zoom, and I'll go ahead and post it here on YouTube as well. So you can have access to see what I've done and the whole focus of it. when I was working on putting together, let me just stop my share for a second. When I was working on putting together the Authorpreneur Summit, I was reaching out and pitching to speakers like Brian Cohen, Dave Chesson, a ton of, and I had 45 different speakers, and pitching to some of these guys that are very busy as it is. I went to my Chat GPT and I said, I'm looking to pitch. And first of all, I gave it all the information about what I was pitching and all of the background information about the summit. And then I said, I wanted a personal pitch that identifies the individual and would resonate with that person. So for Dave Chesson, it talked about his influence in the area and, you know, the tools he creates and all of the things that he's done for authors and how much I appreciate that. And then it went into additional pitching of him speaking at my event. So out of probably 60 or 70 people that I pitched, it was all personalized from my Chat GPT with me, like, of course, saying, I'm not quite sure I would speak that way, you know, add a little bit more about this or less about that. And I took all of those and used those pitches to get all of the speakers that I ended up with for my author summit. So you can absolutely do that. And if you give it information about the individual and a website so that it connects, it will actually go and search and consume information about the person in order to then generate a better pitch for you.
When should you start advertising for books that, you know, for Christmas? Mine is not a Christmas book, but at what point do you start to flood the market or begin to really pitch your book for Christmas?
I think Christmas in July is a great time to do it, to give people a little taste, you know, hey, here's a little bit of Christmas spirit. It's July, Christmas book is coming. Maybe doing a little Christmas activity or do a little read aloud of your book with some Christmas theme. I think it's okay. And I think that's a good time. I would say if you're really looking to get your book, a children's book published, and you want to get Christmas sales, I recommend getting it published before like the first week of September or earlier. If you wait any later than that, you're not going to have time to include things like, you know, the indexing can take a couple of months, right? You need reviews, you need the individuals on your launch team to be able to grab the book. You want to also have some awards and some social, you know, social clout, right? So you want to be able to have those editorial reviews and all kinds of other things. And then once that you're starting to index and get things moved, it takes a couple of months. So let's just say you wait until the beginning of September. Now it's all of September, all of October, you're working through, your reviews are climbing, you're getting more and more indexed, you're able to drive traffic, you're, you know, meeting with podcasters, your bloggers are focusing, right? You're really engaging all of the things that we are learning and that this GPT told us we should be doing, right? We're plugging away with all of this stuff. By the time early November rolls around, you're in pretty good shape with the visibility and with the ability to really step up your ads with regard to Amazon by October time period. But you need that couple of months to really get everything linking, to get all of your social proof and everything indexed the way that you want it to be in order to gain those organic sales and the Christmas sales. Otherwise, if you do like me, my very first book was, I launched toward the end of October and nobody saw it because there's too much going on. There's too many books that are already indexed, people that are paying big dollars around Christmas time to get their books identified so that they get purchased. So my poor little book one kind of fell by the wayside and didn't really get much traffic or much notice, especially because I didn't know what I didn't know. And so with this new Christmas book that I'm going to be releasing, my goal is to get it out as soon as possible and already starting to work on the activities that need to go into launching that book. Okay. So feel free. Now I'm just going to take a quick look at questions that I'm getting here on YouTube. Zelkarnian, welcome. The very best. Glad to have you here with us. Let's see. Okay, so I'm not seeing any new questions there on YouTube, but if you are here on YouTube with me and you'd like to drop in face to face with on my Zoom with me, you can feel free to click on the link that I posted here and drop in. We're going to be here together for another 25 minutes or so. And then I'm going to drop and move with my authorpreneur folks and continue to keep things going there. So Cornian, do you have any questions for me, my dear? I just have to have you unmute yourself. So
okay. Hi, friend.
Hello
Nice
there.
to meet you.
Nice to
I
see
am
you.
good feeling. I am good feeling. Friend, I miss you last 6 months. 6 months. I learned from you from YouTube channels. Very amazing learning from you. Very amazing to the topic book marketing for authors. Tips, tricks, ideas, Chat GPT. I love this Chat GPT. Very amazing. Change the life for everyone's authors, any field of the people. Very amazing.
Yeah.
I love education, learning from you.
Thank you. I appreciate your kind words. Is there any questions that you have for me today you'd like me to focus on?
Perhaps today, not a question, just listening and learn from everyone and you.
Okay, great. Well, we're happy to have you here. Always welcome to join me anytime we go live like this. So I do hope this has been helpful. If we have someone that's here with us, oh, okay. Kay Mackey is just joining on YouTube and asks, is it ever okay to start with a soft launch? And I would say absolutely it is okay to start with a soft launch. I kind of consider what we do with our book launch team as a soft launch, right? Where what I've typically done recently, and I would say the last maybe 20 or 30 ebooks that I helped to launch have all been #1 new releases. And I'll give you a little bit of insight into that and into the process that I use. But first, a soft launch really is getting it out there to the people that you know and that you're working with for your launch team and helping to get that, to build that social proof. So have them grab a copy of your ebook. Don't make it free, make it 99 cents. And if you're not sure how to do that, I'll talk a little bit about a secret that I use to make sure that the ebooks can be launched at 99 cents. So soft launch with your ebook. It is going to be a lot easier to rank as a new release, #1 new release, and a bestseller when you look at the competition in an ebook category instead of a print book category. And maybe this is more focused around children's book authors, but I do find the same in a number of different genres where it is much easier to rank in an ebook category. So soft launching that ebook, getting to a #1 bestseller with that can be done even in pre-launch. So Amazon is going to count those 99-cent sales, and you're going to see the ebook get #1 new release. You're going to see the ebook end up becoming a #1 bestseller. And that you can use to continue with marketing and to continue to build on your marketing plan so that when you open it up to a broader audience, you already have the reviews from your launch team. You're able to work with all of the additional social proof that you have with the reviews and start running ads on it. And then that will help continue to raise awareness, especially if you're using things like we went over earlier today with your social media marketing, email marketing, contacting bloggers and podcasters, and all of those things you want to be doing ahead of a really full-blown launch. But those are perfect things to do with a soft launch. Thank you for the question. Okay, go ahead, Pat.
Question about coloring books. I know that you have one that goes along with your book.
Mm-hmm.
If you create a coloring book like you did for your book, couple questions. How many pages would you normally put into that? What would you charge for such a book? And do you find that coloring books sell? So those are my 3 questions.
Okay, so number 1, how many pages? Let's put it here. How many pages do they sell? And what was the next? What was the other question?
Hold on, let me think. How many pages? The price.
Oh, okay. Okay, so when I put my coloring books together, a couple of tricks that I use is, first of all, you can launch a coloring book as an ebook. Take advantage of it and allow that book to gain momentum and get that bestseller status even as an ebook. So sometimes Amazon will block an ebook, but there are, I would say, out of maybe 10 of the books that I've launched as coloring books that are ebooks, maybe 1 out of 10 got blocked. But I am able to use the ebook launch, the soft launch, to raise awareness. You can do some ebook free ebook giveaways, right? And so you get the word out so that people see here, there's this coloring book, it's a free ebook, go grab it, right? So you can do promotions with places like the Fussy Librarian. You can have additional eyeballs on a free ebook launch. Then that helps build the desire to go and purchase the print copy. So I'm just gonna, so starting when I'm looking at things like this, I would launch that ebook at 99 cents. I would do some free ebook promos later. And some people are asking me like, April, why would you even launch a coloring book as an ebook? Well, if the beginning of your, in the table of contents, it says, or at the beginning of your book, it says, here's a QR code, go download the PDF copy of this for free. Now that will drive them to your website. They can download a PDF copy. They can print as many times as they want all the favorites that you've got on your ebook, right? So it is a coloring book that's printable. If they take advantage of it and they go and sign up and download that printable, then you now have their email address, which is really nice because it ends up as a kind of a lead magnet for you. You also can rank much easier for an ebook than you can for a print book. So that's one piece of it, is make sure you launch an ebook with it because it's really helpful in a number of ways. The print book, so the ebook, I would probably regular price put at like $4.99 or something like that. I would make the print book $6.99 to $8.99, somewhere in that category. You asked me, do they sell? They do, not a lot. It depends. I see some coloring books and activity books that do significantly well, like tens of thousands of dollars per month. But not mine, not mine at this point. Now they've done, there are some that have just blown it out of the park, and that my hats go off to them. For me, if my activity books don't hit it out of the park and people are just learning about me and my characters, it's another way of getting in front of people with one more little part of my larger brand. So at this point, you know, there are 5 picture books with 5 activity books and a couple of additional coloring books, right? So the brand is growing. I am able to then use that growing brand to cross promote all of the things that I'm doing. And the activity book is also something that I print in volumes. Like I might go and order 50 or 100 from Amazon. It costs me like $2 and change to get them. And then if I'm doing events, I've got those books that I can either give out, donate, or sell at school visits and events. So
how many pages do you have?
oh, the page count. Yeah. So I like to do like 48 pages to a picture book or an activity book, because when you think about it, you're getting, say, 27 pages or 28 pages worth of illustrations. So if you're going to if you want all of them to be coloring pages, then you want to have at least, that many. And so the minimum would be a 32 page coloring book, or 28 to 32 page coloring book. And then if you want to make it more valuable and add activity pages in between, it's a nice round number to get it up to be about 48 pages. It's a nice thick coloring book or activity book. And even better, if you think that children might want to be able to use markers instead of crayons, just use one page. With the back page, just put like little cuts as if it's a pair of scissors. Like, oh, you can cut this out, right? Amazon won't let you put blank pages in between every one. But if you have a little something that says cut here or cut on the dotted line, and it's got a little image of scissors, then you can have those nice activity books with front page with something to color, back page blank. They can cut them out, and then it's not going to bleed through if they wanted to use it for markers.
Okay, thank you.
Probably much more information than you wanted to know about activity books, but I just find them to be just really helpful. To be honest with you, the best way that I use activity books is as lead magnets. So if somebody goes and buys one of my picture books, in the back, it says, follow this QR code and you can download a copy of my activity book. And I give them, I'm very gracious and very generous with what I offer for my lead magnets. Instead of giving them 3 or 5 coloring pages, I let them download the whole thing, printable. If they want to print as many times as they want, fine, no problem. Most of the time, people are very appreciative of those kinds of nice, 48-page book with activities and everything else. They can print the PDF copies of the things that they want. Teachers can use them in the classroom, and it's going to generate that reciprocity, right? So people are like, wow, I got this great book. Now I want to be able to use this. Many of them will go and order a number of copies for individuals, like in their classroom. They don't want to just print them out and give one page at a time. So they'll buy a coloring book. Or I've got some people that, even though I offer printables for nursing homes and things like that, they will buy, they still buy the print copies, and they might buy them in bulk and donate to nursing homes, which I thought was really kind of cool. It's really, it's a coloring book that I have that has been very popular with the older audience. They just love labradoodles, they love coloring, and it's something that keeps them sharp and keeps them entertained, that they do together with their family.
I never thought of nursing homes. That's a possibility for a coloring book. If you had one for Halloween, one for Christmas, one for Easter, that adults do like to color, and a simple one for senior citizens might be a good idea. I never thought of that.
Yep. And that's the one I came across that as an issue. Gosh, was one of my very first books I created was a coloring book of labradoodles. And when I started thinking about, I'm writing a book about a little labradoodle, I do want to start building my email list. What can I do to build an email list? What can I give people? So I thought, well, people that like labradoodle books probably like labradoodles, right? So I was part of a huge community of labradoodle fans. They would just share about their dogs, and was tens of thousands of people in the community. And I said, hey, I'm going to create something to give away. I'm writing books about Labradoodles, children's books, but I'm going to do a coloring book. And so if you have a Labradoodle and you've got a fun, inventive pose with your Labradoodle, send it to me. I'm going to pick a certain number of them and I'm going to create coloring pages. Oh my gosh. I only wanted to do like, 12 coloring pages or something like that. I had so many people asking me, oh, please, please don't close it down now. Can you just, please get my Labradoodle into your coloring book? And well, before I knew it, I had 48 pages and counting, and people loved it. And they were like, I need to buy 100 copies because my dog is in this coloring book. And then after the things died down a little bit, they came back and I started seeing like 50 at a time being ordered, 50, 100, this. And I'm like, what are people doing? And somebody contacted me in my neighborhood, dropped by and said, hey, can I get 50 coloring books from you? And I'm like, what are you doing with these coloring books? And she said, nursing homes. I have, I'm raising money. I buy them for nursing homes. And I have, there's a number of churches that do visit nursing homes, and her church was one of them. And she also had a couple of individuals that were in elderly centers or senior centers, and she would just go hang out there and bring the coloring books, and they would all color and talk and have fun. Sometimes their families would visit, so they'd have coloring books for the kids. So it was kind of nice. But I never in a million years would have thought about that either.
That gives me an idea.
Especially because your books are based in the 1900s, right? The little dinky.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that too, that what about one of my authors wants to do a read aloud, and she has a children's book when she also has a husband who is a Santa Claus, plays Santa Claus. And they were thinking about where can we do like a Santa read aloud. And I was thinking, gee, wouldn't it be fun to do something like that at a nursing home or a senior center? Encourage the families to go and listen to Santa reading a book and go visit with the seniors that are there as well. And let the seniors enjoy having the family there and having the event. There's just a lot, I think, that we could do, a lot more we could do to improve the quality of life, and the bonding that happens. Opportunities, I think, are priceless.
Thank you.
Okay. I have Matt Wilmont. Thank you, Matt, for the question. Do you have any ways to get more reviews apart from asking people you know? So great question. It starts with selling more books. And I know that sounds nuts, right? The more books you sell, the more people are going to have your books in hand, and the more that you're going to get reviews. I've heard somebody say roughly 2% of the people that read your book are going to review it. So to increase the odds of that, put something at the back of your book that is a QR code or a link where they can go to directly review your book. So asking is one of the biggest ways to do it. So if you get to the end of a book or if an individual gets to the end of the book, they really loved it. At the end, it says, thank you for reading. Really hope you enjoyed this book. And if you did, it would mean the world to me if you would just follow this QR code and just give me a review. If you don't ask, you don't get it, right? But if at the end of a book you really enjoyed, why wouldn't you just scan it or click the link and go to that and provide a review, right? So you can increase the likelihood that you're going to get more reviews that way by asking and having a very direct link that goes exactly where it's supposed to go, to the review page of the book. If you give them a link that goes to Amazon.com and doesn't take them exactly where they need to be, the likelihood of them leaving a review gets less and less. Now, in order to increase also the number of copies that people are buying or downloading, I highly recommend promos. So if you go to sites like bookbub.com, The Fussy Librarian, Free Ebook Soda, Free Booksy, there are so many free sites, or I should say promo sites, where you pay, like with Fussy Librarian, which is one that I use a lot. I pay $25 and they're going to blast my ebook, my free ebook offer out to hundreds of thousands of people on their mailing list. Now, hundreds of thousands of people are not going to all download my book, but the ones that do like what they see and they download the book, now that's that many more sales. Even though it's a free download, it's a sale according to Amazon, and it counts as a verified review if they take the step to go and perform that review. So again, more books in hands of people, more sales, and it's those big sales that are going to see your numbers climb. And if you're not quite sure why your book maybe isn't selling in the numbers that you need it to in order to see those reviews climb, feel free to put a link to your listing in the chat. And I'm happy to pull it up and take a look at it and see if there's something that we can do or some recommendations that I can make to make your listing more attractive and to make it more likely that you're going to get those downloads and the reviews that you need. Okay. Hi, Leslie. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us. Go ahead, Pat. You get a question?
Another question, a follow-up from this gentleman's question. Say you have a new book, coming out, you have this ebook, and at what point do you submit that to Fussy Librarian? Do you submit it before your launch, or how soon before your sale date or launch date? How soon should you get that ebook to somebody like Fussy Librarian?
Yeah, so what I typically do with my rollout is at least 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks before my book is launching, I'm doing my pre-launch, my 99-cent pre-launch. I'm engaging with my audience, my launch team, and I'm asking for reviews. I'm building my email list, continuing to build my email list. And as you build a bigger email list and you're connecting and growing, you're also able to say, hey guys, guess what? I'm launching a new Christmas book. So now instead of 20 people that are family and friends, you've built an email list of say 1,200, right? That's kind of where I am right now. When I first started, I was lucky to have 6 people that I knew that I could ask for a review. My parents or my sisters, like they had no clue what to do with Amazon, and they would just be like, hey, can you bring me a free copy when you come to visit? They were not going to go and be part of my launch team. So I started with almost no one. Now, over the years of building relationships and building a readership, it continues to grow bigger and bigger. And that makes your new launches that much more successful because you have more people on your email list and because you're more engaged, they're more engaged with you. So having that's an important piece of it. Sorry, now I lost my train of thought, but
so about 4 weeks before your launch.
I'm doing like I'm tapping into my launch team, my email followers, go grab the book for 99 cents. And so I'm tapping them out. Once the ebook launches, so it goes live, now it's available for purchase, it's full price, but I'm enrolled in KDP Select. That means I can go and set up free ebook promos. I get 5 days every 90 days. So I can choose a few days, 2 or 3 days to do a big promo special. So I would typically do that the week after it goes to full price. So the week after it goes to full price, there's a 3-day period where I would send the and I usually will do a promo stack of the Fussy Librarian, free Booksy. I always apply for BookBub because it is an amazing resource if you can get it, but they're very selective and they only have so many slots. So it's very unlikely you're going to get a BookBub deal, but apply for it. And if you don't get it, put it back on your calendar to follow up with them in 30 days. So your book is full price now, and then you drop it to free. So that big drop also flags Amazon and other places that are going to be doing ebook promos that, hey, there's this, ebook special. And I'm paying $25 for say, Fussy Librarian to do a 1-day promo for me. And I might pay $25 for ebook soda and $25 more for free Booksy or something like that. So say I spend $100 on promo sites, and they all learn that my book has gone from $6.99 to free for these 3 days only. So
That you would
they're
do that
driving-
about a week after the launch.
Yeah.
You'd go to.
Yeah.
free.
So they're driving all of those free ebook eyeballs out
Mhm.
there, and not everybody's going to identify with my cover, but the ones that are my target audience that like what they see, they're going to download it for free. They're going to start giving some reviews. Maybe they'll look at it and say, gee, I'm going to go buy the paperback, which guess what, is launching that same week.
Okay,
So
thank you.
eyeballs on the ebook. Also, when they click on the ebook to go grab it, they're seeing that there's a linked paperback, there's a linked hardcover. If you're somebody that does audiobooks, then the audiobook is there. So it's cross-promoting those things.
Thank you.
And don't forget the opportunity that A+ content offers. A+ content is special content that is on your book page that is available to every author. I'm going to just do a quick, this will be my last thing to focus on, but I'm going to go to Amazon and I'm going to pull up, let's see, Bacon Loves Everyone. This is, let's see. This is a book from one of my other authors. Here we go. Bacon Loves Everyone. So this is just one of the books that an author's launching. At the bottom of, let's see, where is the ebook? Maybe she doesn't have her A+ content in here yet. Oh yeah, here we go. So it's called from the publisher. It shows up as from the publisher content. Everybody has access to create this for your own listing. You no longer need a special account to do it. And you have the opportunity to add some great information. And this is a children's book. So we've got some cute little piggy face and a cute little piggy bum. Who wouldn't want that, right? Information about any awards you've got, a little bit of information about maybe what's special about the book, right? So here we talk about different things and see some of the interior illustrations. Now, yes, I had to scroll to the bottom of this listing to see this, to see the A+ content, but how many of us are scrolling on our phones all the time? And when we get an email, we're clicking on it. Well, if you access the Amazon listings from a mobile device, you're going to see the A+ content even above your Amazon description for your book. So it's going to show you these beautiful, bright, images and additional content that can help sell your book. So don't sell yourself short. Use these opportunities and also the opportunity to cross-promote your book. I'm going to show you another one here. Let's see, When I'm the President. This is a book by Samantha Pillay. And you can see she has a number of book awards. She's got a decent cover here that captures attention. It's very relevant. It's, politics are all the rage these days, to my chagrin most days. But if you look at her A+ content, we've got the beautiful 3D book cover. It's got information about why this book is important, a little bit of information about her motto, which is dream big, aim high. It's all about breaking stereotypes for girls, right? So we want our girls to see themselves in roles that are typically not for women. And so she talks about her mission And then look at this at the bottom of this A+ content. This is all stuff you can do. It's shoppable content. This is a module within the A+ that you can add, and you can show all of the other books you have in your series. So you can cross promote, and people can just click add to cart, and they can, so it's an additional way of cross promoting your books. All of her books have the ability to dig in and have that hot link that goes directly to the other books, and also to add to cart. Again, this is another, you know, astronaut book. So you see some things are slightly different, but again, always cross promoting the books so that you can see that this is a brand. It's a brand that you want. If you've got a little girl, ages 4 to 8, you want her to have books from Samantha Pillay. And I highly recommend you grab some. She's got the When I'm the President just launched, When I'm the Prime Minister also just launched. So if you're not in the US, that is, you know, the most recent book that she's launched. But it's a great opportunity to get these books and get people aware and get them purchasing, downloading, even the free copies, because they're considered a purchase from Amazon. They come up as reviews that are verified reviews. So lots of ways to continue to grow reviews, to cross promote your book, and it's all at your fingertips, and you can do it yourself.
That was my next question or comment, because I didn't do it myself for my first 2 books, and I love how it turned out, but I don't remember whether it was you or it was Adrian or who it was that helped me, because
Yeah, so what we did the A+ content to help you, and I have a team of people that are very talented designers. To be honest with you, I've done my own A+ content, and I am not a designer. I don't have that design eye. It's pretty, but it's not anywhere near the beautiful work that my designers do. So if you are looking for help for A+ content, that's certainly something that I can help with. My team can help with. I don't do a very good job myself, but everybody has access to this. So there's no excuse not to at least get something out there. If you follow the format that I recommend, which is show your book, some internal images of the book, maybe an open page. And if you've got beautiful illustrations, show them. And then give three reasons why somebody should buy your book. And you've got the module there with 3 things. It could be, you know, so what's in it for me? Why should I buy When I'm the President versus, you know, a bazillion other books that are out there? So she might say things like about gender stereotypes, and she might say things like girl power and empowering children to dream big and aim high, right? These are the kinds of things that will be highlighted in those 3 reasons why this book is special and you should buy it. And then wrap it up with, you know, if you've got a brand image or logo or other books that you want to cross promote, make sure you get those in there as well. If you can do Canva, then you can easily do A+ content, and it'll probably, maybe I'll have one of my designers join me with just kind of a quick walkthrough of how that would work, so that others who want to try doing it themselves will have the ability to do so. Okay. All right. Well, this is we're at the end of our time. Actually went a little bit over. So I'm going to disconnect and I'm going to say goodbye to my friends over on YouTube with me. And if you are interested in continuing on with my authorpreneur hour, which we're having for my mastermind group, stay with me on Zoom and I'm going to continue with that. But for now, thank you again for those joining on YouTube. I am here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you are looking for information about how to engage with me and do more with self-publishing, you can visit my website at selfpubmadesimple.com, and I'm happy to chat with you more. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you next week.